Hi, I'm Avani. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Bloomington, Normal, Illinois. My parents, they're both from Mangalore, India. Because I'm a child of immigrants, keeping our culture and sustaining our culture was something that was very important for my parents. One of the sayings that we have in Hinduism is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one big family. And that's something that my parents really worked hard to make sure that resonated with me and my sister. Everyone is someone that you should respect and admire and work hard to create the best possible opportunities and situation for. 4-H started as a special interest club. It was a Lego robotics club, which to me, as a 10-year-old, I was a 5th grader, sounded like robotics and magic, so why would I not want to take part? The issue was, when it came time to actually sign up for the county fair, it was my dad that went. He saw that there were other projects that 4-H had, like leadership and public speaking, and he was like, wow, this is great, this is awesome, so he signed me up for those as well. I remember practicing in the park, like coming up with my posters, that's really where my passion for public speaking started, right there on that stage. I expanded, I did leadership, I did civic engagement, eventually got involved as a teen teacher for that robotics spin club that I had started my 4-H journey with. Every year in our community, we have a Diwali food drive. Youth go door to door and we ask for non-perishable food items, and then we donate them to 6 local charities. And that was the first time that I was introduced to the idea of food insecurity. In September of 2022, I was invited to speak at the closing plenary session of the White House Conference on Hunger, Nutrition, and Health, in conversation as a young change maker making change and healthy living in the United States with the second gentleman, Douglas Emhoff, and Ambassador Susan Rice, who is in charge of the Domestic Policy Council that was hosting the event. We were thinking about different ways to improve healthy living, which is such a broad topic that sometimes it's hard to address it. And SuperYoga was the first time I was able to take the skills I applied to 4-H and bring them outside of that organization. I was able to come up with this curriculum plan specifically to implement in elementary schools within my district. Then the struggle became, okay, how do we teach a bunch of like 5 to 10-year-olds how to do yoga? I came up with SuperYoga because it felt like a fun way to implement some of those yoga practices and techniques. The model is any of the yoga poses, or the traditional yoga poses that you might have, are translated to something that looks or feels more like something a superhero would do. We have Spider-Man pose, Wolverine, and then they were coming up with their own poses. So now we have a mermaid pose and different things like that. And we're able to reach out to about 1,300 students in the course of just a couple of days. One of the things that youth are always told is that we're the future, and we're going to be the leaders of the future, the revolutionaries of the future, the change makers of the future. But 4-H gives you the power to be all of those things today.